Today we're going to analyze Prime Megan Fox's facial harmony and see what makes her so attractive. So for her front, she got a 7.76, which is a really good score. This will be high Stacy Light, front harmony. And for the side, this is also really good at a 7. And overall, she gets a 7.5 out of 10, which is roughly a top 0.7% facial harmony. So her facial harmony is low compared to her overall score because we can see she has good dimorphism. She looks like a woman. She has good features such as her eye color. She has full eyebrows. She has nice full lips with a nice color. She has amazing coloring, good hairline, good skin, and things like that. And she also has pretty good angularity from the side and from the front as well. It's pretty decent. So that overall makes her, I'll say, a 9 out of 10 or a high 8. I think that's fair for Megan Fox here. So getting into her front ratios, her biggest flaw according to FaceIQ Labs was her total FWHR, and she got a 2.88 out of 10 on this one. And what this indicates is that Megan Fox's face is actually too long vertically. She got a 1.46 when it should be 1.34 range. We can see the bell curve here, and yeah, that tells her face shape is too long. And that contributes to her forehead being too big. These are her facial thirds. This actually should be the opposite, kinda. Her forehead is the biggest third when it should be the smallest. We can see it's 36.60 percent of her total face shape. And ideally it should be on the 32% range. Middle third, her big forehead contributes to her small lower third because it has to make up for something, right? And this is a short middle third, so her facial thirds are pretty off, which is her big flaw. Her ESR, she has slightly wide set eyes. Bigonio width, her jaw is actually a bit too wide, and this might be because she's smiling in the picture, but we can still see that her jaw is pretty wide. I'll say this is a minor flaw. Neck width, her neck is a bit too wide. This is also a minor flaw in my opinion. Her next flaw is her ear protrusion angle, and this is again another minor flaw in my opinion. Her ears are a bit too flared, even though you can't see her ears here. When you look at pictures or videos where you can see Megan Fox's ears, you can visually see that it's slightly flared. Lateral canthal tilt, her canthal tilt is a bit too high actually. For Caucasian women, it should be a bit lower. This is giving her more like a cat aggressive type of look. Eye aspect ratio, her eyes are slightly too round, and that contributes to her eye aspect ratio being slightly deducted. Lower third proportion, her philtrum is a bit too small. One eye apart test, it's slightly off the ideal, giving her the white set eyes appearance. Mouth to nose width ratio, this is perfect. And starting from eyebrow tilt, she gets everything perfect. This is perfect. Outside of ideal though, it's slightly too positive. And starting from eyebrow tilt, she gets everything perfect. Lower third, perfect. Mouth to width to nose ratio, perfect. FWHR, perfect. This is just right in the middle, this is perfect. Chin to philtrum ratio, perfect. Mid face ratio, perfect. Jaw frontal angle, perfect. These are all perfect. Yeah, she gets a lot of things perfect, which contributes to her excellent harmony here. Onto her side ratios. So her biggest flaws stem from her recession. So we can see here a recession relative to Frankfurt plane. Her lower jaw is slightly recessed. We can see that the lower lip is slightly protruded compared to her upper lip, and her chin is recessed. So that's why she gets heavily deducted on this mark. Yeah, like you would fix this by a Bimax. Her next flaw was her Frankfurt tip angle, and her next flaw was her nasal frontal angle. This is because her brow ridge is a bit off. Nose tip rotation angle, she got this off. Another lip assessment, she got this off. Gonad angle. Her gonad angle is actually too steep. Yeah, it needs to be a bit higher, like maybe here. And that would fix her gonad angle. And she can fix that by getting the Bimax. Nasofacial angle, she got this off. Another lip assessment. And her next biggest flaw was her nasal projection. This is very slightly too overly projected, but this is a very minor flaw and it doesn't matter. And starting from orbital vector, she pretty much gets everything perfect. So she has a pretty good orbital vector, so it doesn't make her look unhealthy or tired. Nasal mental angle, good. Nasal tip angle, good. This is pretty much perfect. Brow ridge inclination angle, perfect. Nasolabial angle, perfect. Facial convexity, the glabella one. So starting from the brow ridge, this one's perfect. The nasion one is perfect. Starting from here, nasal width to height ratio. This is another nose measurement to see how long your nose is relative to how far your nose is projected. This is perfect. These 4 lip assessments. Oh, sorry, these 5 lip assessments are perfect. Mandibular plane angle, perfect. Her ramus is long relative to her mandible. This is important, which she gets a perfect score on in the middle of blue. Mental labial angle, perfect. Gonian to mouth line, perfect. This is important. This is your facial depth to height ratio, which shows how far your maxilla is projected. And this is perfect at 1.4. It's almost too projected, which is a good thing to have, which isn't even a flaw, to be honest. And she got this right in the middle, perfect. So according to faceiq Labs, her top 3 biggest key strengths is her harmonious facial convexity. So she passes all the convexity measurements and she gets it perfect. She has an ideal ramus length. Her ramus is perfect. Ideal nose width. Her nose width isn't too wide or too slim, which gives her a good mouth width to nose width ratio, and her intercanthal nasal width ratio makes her perfect in terms of the nose. And we can see that her nose is pretty slim relative to the medial canthus. And her top 3 biggest flaws were her overly long face shape, and according to faceiq Labs, this is actually pretty severe. And I do agree. Mandibular recession, again, she's recessed, and according to faceiq Labs, we talked about this at Bimax, should fix this. Under projected chin, we can see that her side is a 7, but with soft maxing and hard maxing, she can get to 8.3 according to faceiq Labs. And you guys can get this by buying faceiq Labs Pro Edition, and then you guys can spend 10 credits for the soft maxing, the non-surgical treatments, and you guys can spend 25 credits to get the surgical treatments. And according to faceiq Labs, yeah, she would need Bimax, which would ascend her really hard on her side profile, and that would fix her recession relative to Frankfurt plane, because that would push her lower jaw forward. And it also shows you how much it would cost. So the cheapest would be 15K and the most expensive one would be 80K. But I've never seen 80K, like someone getting Bimax. I know Collab's Bimax is 35K and he's also getting full facial implants, and that costed 35K for him. So 80K, there's a very low chance your Bimax is gonna be that high. According to faceiq Labs, the initial recovery phase, where you have all that thing on your face and you have to freaking drink your food, is 2 to 4 weeks, but the full results you'll get it between 6 to 12 months. And it also shows you your side effects that you can get from a Bimax, and you can also add a tracker here. So you can be like, I am getting Bimax in 1 month. This is a really good thing about faceiq Labs. You can add a personal note to yourself. And this is also another good thing about faceiq Labs. You can also put, got my Bimax yesterday, now recovering. You can add personal notes to this to help you plan your recovery and to plan your progress into reaching your full potential. So that's it for that analysis today. If you guys want the exact same analysis that I did for Megan Fox here, if you want your overall rating, and if you want to know your key strengths and your areas of improvement, and if you want to know your potential and know how to get to your potential, just like Megan Fox here, with your 30 ratios, just like here, all your 29 side profile ratios to know how attractive you are. You guys can press down my link below in the pinned comments or in the description. And faceiq Labs is going to be the #1 software where you know how attractive you are and to know how to ascend